This is the House of Hockey podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Hockey is more than a game, it's a lifestyle. It's you, the diehard supportive fans, your favorite players who are on the team you cheer for, and the organization who supports them.
The companies that make your gear, bags, and beer league sweaters. The hockey moms and hockey dads, and everything else that makes this House of Hockey your home. Come on in. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Ray Ray.
And this is our house. What's up, guys? Welcome back to our House of Hockey podcast. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Ray Ray.
And we have a brand new episode for you. So should we kick it off?
Yeah, we should. We're just down the 405 from each other here in Los Angeles. If you live in Los Angeles, you know what we mean when we say the 405. But
yeah, really, it's like probably only about 30 miles from each other, but about 2 hours at this point. So
because LA, it's crazy, people. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's easier for us to do this like this than to actually meet in person, even though we live in the same freaking city. And it's just crazy here.
Yeah, pretty nuts, but gotta love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I feel like we just still need to get to know each other a little bit. I mean, should we throw some questions at each other?
Yeah, I think this would be fun for us and for everybody listening who tuned into the first episode to get to know us a little bit better, like who we are, personalities, a little bit outside of our hockey opinions, because this is a hockey lifestyle podcast. So all of these things about us that we're about to talk about and rapid fire each other about contribute to that hockey-ness.
Yeah.
I'm making up words now, so.
Yeah. Plus it gets to know our personalities a little bit more, and sometimes that makes or breaks like certain things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a little scary.
You know, it's a little scary, but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Not as scary as the dark, right?
Yep. Got me there.
Okay, so before we started recording, we were getting lighting and stuff situated, and I'm gonna people need to know that you're a little bit afraid of dark spaces.
Yeah, it's more than just a little bit. I'm pretty terrified.
I think that's okay. I think there's a lot of people are. I mean, I don't like the dark, and I'm actually like legit terrified of rats and mice.
Oh.
Like, I will be standing on top of this desk so fucking fast, I will be like out of my skin, screaming at the top of my lungs, standing on the table, freaking out. So like,
see, I'm okay with like rats and snakes and stuff. I don't like bugs, anything that can fly or like jump at you, but I would say I'm really terrified of potato bugs.
What's a potato bug?
I can't even talk about it. You can just Google it, and then just don't let me see your face when you Google it.
Okay, but I'll look it up later. I don't even know what
I wouldn't do that before bed. It's definitely gonna haunt you. They call them the children of the earth. They have like human faces, and they're giant.
Oh, I just got the chills.
One chased me, and it was scary.
Like, give me a size. How big or little is this?
Oh man, I mean, they can be, a couple inches long. They look like a giant ant almost, but like with like a hard shell. And they're big, and it chased me. It chased me.
I believe you.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
We had in my apartment a year ago, a fucking like a tree rat. There's like a fruit tree rat. So like big, like big 6 inches, 7 inches rat ate a hole through the sliding screen door to the patio and was like living in the apartment for 2 weeks. We didn't know because we didn't see it. It was like hiding out and would come out at night. And then we saw it. Well, I have a roommate, she saw it. And then I moved out of the apartment for 3 days until it was gone. I couldn't live here. The first night I had to drink like a lot of whiskey and I took a Xanax just so I could fall asleep, knowing like we had set out traps and like all of this, like to just try to sleep. And
Oh,
I was a
jeez.
wreck. I was a wreck. We caught it. Everything's fine now.
Oh,
It was
good.
a one time only
Yeah.
situation.
I mean, I feel like if you name it, it makes it like not as terrifying though. Like you should have named it like Noah or something. Like that's a nice name.
It is a very nice name. However, it was not helping me in the least. Like I don't know. It's just one of those irrational things.
Yeah,
So
well,
there's some fun facts.
we got him.
Do we want to start with the questions? Do you want to kick it off with one of the we you put together a list of some rapid fire questions and I like all of these.
Yeah, I just put together, I just kind of Googled, rapid fire questions and I just copy and pasted some good ones. And I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I was just like, all right,
Okay.
we'll do this. So we have, well, we had 10, but now we have 11 questions.
Well, we
And
covered the 11th with,
we
well, I
did cover
guess
the
not,
11th.
kind of, but what are you most afraid of? Mine
Yeah.
is the rat mice situation.
I have another one. So we'll go. Okay. So we have 11 questions and we're going to ask them and then both answer them, right?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So let's kick it off. So where's one place you would like to go that you've never been before?
Sorry, I just kicked the light and it almost went flying, my light in front of me.
Okay.
Don't worry, there was not a rat. Everything is okay. Okay,
Okay.
somewhere I would like to go that I haven't been. Hawaii, actually, which is,
Okay.
I've lived in California for 7 years now, and I still
Mm-hmm.
have not made my way to California, to Hawaii. And that's one place I'd really like to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and Ireland. And
Ooh.
Ireland and Scotland. I really want to
Yeah.
spend some time there. I feel really intrigued by that country. I'm not Irish or anything or Scottish, but I really want to go there. It looks really beautiful.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are good.
Where's one place you want to go that you haven't been?
Um, I would say Switzerland is probably top priority. And then I'm gonna do Iceland as well, just because it's in the works of trying to go to Iceland about September this year, but hasn't happened yet because it's kind of weird times. But yeah, I'd say Switzerland and Iceland.
Interesting. Why Switzerland?
I've always just had something for Switzerland. Like, I'm not really a tropical kind of person. I'm more of like mountains and trees and colder weather and um yeah, I mean, Roman Yossi's from there, so obviously Switzerland.
So that's why you want to go to his
No,
house and see where he grew up and where he played.
my future father-in-law. No, just kidding. No, it was besides that. It was actually kind of a perk to find out that he's from there. But I've just always thought Switzerland was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. Well, in pictures. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite hobby? You go.
Hobby. Well, I really like music. So I do play guitar and I recently picked up the banjo. So I feel like that's probably one of my favorite hobbies right now is teaching myself how to play the banjo.
That's really cool. How did you
Yeah.
pick the banjo?
Um, well, I grew up on country music. I think we went over that before, and I like guitar, and I just think that the banjo has a really cool sound to it. And it's quite different to play than guitar. I mean, you have three finger picks, which I actually have on my desk right here. You can kind of see them. I don't know. I don't
Cool.
know if, oh, here's my thing. So yeah, you put those on your fingers, and it's kind of intricate to try to do, and I just like the sound. So yeah.
Nice.
What about you?
Um, Along the lines of country music, I love to go country line dancing.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty good.
Are you?
Yeah, I have cowboy boots and everything. You know, you wouldn't suspect it, maybe a city girl from Chicago living in Los Angeles or like country line dancing.
Yeah.
But when I lived in Florida, my
Hmm.
cousin actually, she's a dancer and I always like to dance like in general. And she was like, you gotta come to country line dancing at the Dallas Bull. It's like this giant, it's this a giant barn in the middle of like outside of Tampa.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, you'll have so much fun. I'm like, I don't even really like country music. Like at that time, don't worry, I love country music now. But at the time
Yeah.
I was like not really like into it. And she's like, it'll be fine. You'll love it. And we went and we walked in and I was like, this is the best fucking thing ever. Like cowboys, all the boys are in Wrangler jeans and cowboy boots
Ooh.
and hats and like their t-shirts and like I like just jumped right in, and you can kind
Yeah.
of pick up the line and people are pretty friendly, like to show you the moves a little bit. They kind of like point, but I've got stories about my experiences here in LA trying to find a
Ooh.
place. Um,
Cowboy Palace Saloon.
where that's the one in North Redondo.
No, this one's
Where's
by
that?
me. So it's
I
in the Valley Chatsworth area.
have not been to that one.
I just went for the first time actually like 2 weeks ago. It was
And
fun. I went on a Tuesday. People were line dancing, but like it was real mellow. But I've
okay,
never learned how to line dance. I'm not a dancer, but I feel like I would want to learn how to line dance. So might have to have you teach me a thing or two.
I will. It's so much fun. I have a great time. And two-stepping is fun too. You can always ask a cowboy, any cowboy, well, you know, for the most part, if you
Yeah.
go up to them and say, will you two-step with me? They're going to say, yes, ma'am, unless they really don't know. But
Yeah, unless you don't want them to say yes, ma'am. I
no,
feel like ma'am makes you sound real old.
it does. It does.
That's
What's
funny.
what's the best meal you've ever eaten?
Oh, good question. I would have to say this is funny. I actually don't know exactly what I ate. But it was this place in Eagle Rock called Little Beast, and they have all seasonal foods. And I believe I ate chicken. I'm pretty sure it was chicken, but it was hands down the best meal I've ever eaten in my entire life.
I'll have to go there. My uncles live in Eagle Rock. I'll have to check it out next time I'm over there.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
really
that
good.
the best meal I ever had was, I'm not Italian, but I swear to God I was in like another life or something,
Yeah.
because Italian food is my favorite food.
Okay.
And I went to Italy with my family forever ago now. And
Hmm.
every meal I had there was the best meal of my life. Like the mozzarella and like the tomato and basil and like everything. Oh my God, it was just so good. The bread, I was like, the bread, the olive oil, everything just tastes so good here. It doesn't taste like this back home. And it doesn't. I can't tell you why, but
Yeah.
all the meals in Italy. We went all over. Oh, and like I had the best cannoli ever. We went to the town in Sicily where the cannoli was invented,
Oh,
allegedly. Best cannoli I've ever had. I've not been able to find a replica of it here in the US anywhere at any Italian
jeez.
restaurant.
That sounds so good right now.
You know?
Oh man. Crazy. All right. Well, what's your unpopular opinion?
Ooh, I guess I don't want to get like political. I'm gonna avoid that.
Yeah.
But unpopular opinion, maybe just not a common belief, but I fully believe in like spiritual world, like
Okay.
ghosts and or spirits and psychics and the power of all of that and
Yeah.
intuition. And I've had some experiences that are unexplained, if you
Oh,
want to call it that.
I feel
um,
like we have to talk about this at some point because I'm all about that kind of stuff.
okay, yeah, I've got a lot of interesting stories of like energies or spirits. I mean, some people are like, bitch, you're crazy, I'm turning this off. It's cocky, shut up. But this definitely some unexplained things that happened. And you know,
Crazy.
what about you? What's an unpopular opinion?
I mean, I'm I mean, that was pretty deep, and I'm just gonna go with pineapple goes on pizza.
No, it does not.
I think it does.
No.
Mm, I just don't know if you've had the right pizza with pineapple on it.
Fruit is not supposed to be on pizza. I'm from Chicago. We know these things.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That is not pizza. That's like you can put pineapple on bread and sauce and cheese, but you are not allowed to call it pizza.
Okay, but what about those fancy pizzas where you put like figs on it?
No.
That's good though.
That's not pizza. That's like artisan food. Like
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Pizza is dough and sauce and cheese and meat and vegetables. Like
it's because you've been to Italy. You've had the real stuff.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You can have your pineapple pizza. Like
Thank you.
Not happening. Like that. Ugh. I yelled at a friend of mine from Chicago. She, when I was there visiting, the one thing I always want when I'm there is to get pizza, like good pizza, because like it's not pizza here in LA. It's something else. And I was like, well, what kind of toppings do you want? I'm like, we got to get crumbled sausage or like pepperoni and like onions and mushrooms and like green peppers. And that's like a Chicago pizza. And she's like, can I get pineapple? And I looked at her like I did not even know her. I have known her my whole fucking life. Well, since like high school. And I was like, what happened to you? I left Chicago and now you're putting goddamn pineapple on the pizza? What the fuck? This is not allowed. You can okay, fine. I'll compromise. You can have half of the pizza with it. But like, who are you? I'm a little scared. We need to get back to reality here. Like, what happened?
Oh, man.
My friend. It's serious business.
I guess so.
All right. What's the last song you listened to?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Here I have Spotify.
I know. I got to pull mine up too.
I've been so St. Patrick's Day, obviously, just happened. So I've been really into the St. Patrick's Day classics playlist. I had to do the whole thing. Like I had to go get a green beer, which couldn't go out. So like I made my own green beer, had corned beef and cabbage. And so I wanted to listen to I wanted to have St. Patrick's Day, right? So the last song I've been listening to, it's the last song that's currently on is The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy.
That's good. I like that song.
That's the last one. Thank you. What about you?
Well, like I said, I do now like country music, and I am very into Kelsey Ballerini, and she's got a new album, well, that will be out or almost out. So I'm just listening to Stilettos is the last song on my Spotify.
Okay. But That's a good one.
Yeah. I like
what's your go-to coffee order?
I take coffee just as serious as I do my pizza.
Oh, geez.
Okay. I have to have coffee in the morning. You cannot have a long conversation with me before I have had my coffee.
I do know this.
I don't do well. So black coffee most of the time. I've gotten into like a little splash of like coconut milk or coconut creamer, just a splash. But that's it. It can be hot or iced. It depends on where I'm at. Like if I'm on the road working, I usually get like a venti Starbucks or wherever I'm at, venti iced coffee, light ice, unsweet with 2 shots of espresso. That's called a black eye. If you ever want to order that, just to really give me my jolt of awakeness. But
that's pretty good. I have to try that.
It's good. It'll really wake you up. But
I like that.
I don't really drink sweet coffee. Like that's why I like just a little bit of like coconut milk or something, like just to kind of cut a little bit of the bitterness as I've gotten older. I need a little more of that.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your coffee drink?
Straight black iced coffee. Yes. Has to be iced. Can't do hot coffee. Always has to be iced coffee.
This is good. This is good. We can be friends.
I just can't order pizza around you, so that's fine.
No, or like you gotta order your own personal pizza because I'm gonna make fun of you every time you do with fucking pineapple on it. Jesus.
It's fine. It's funny though because I like pineapple on pizza, but I never really order it. So I don't even know why I said that, but whatever. Anyway, what's your favorite TV show?
Like of all time?
Of all time.
Oh, that's so
or current,
hard.
whatever's easy for you.
Well, I love Friends and I love Sex in the City. I could put,
Mhm.
like, if I have nothing else to watch or whatever, I just need some comfort television. I can put on any episode of any of those
Mhm.
shows. But I'm actually just started, I rewatched the 90s, late 90s show Charmed, like
Mhm.
about the witches. See, I like
Yeah.
this spooky stuff, but I
Yeah.
I didn't remember a single episode. I know I had watched it when I was younger. And so, you know how sometimes like when you watch a show again, you're like, "Oh, I remember this episode." I didn't remember a
Yeah.
single fucking episode.
Okay.
And it's really good. I like a formula. Like if
Yeah.
I at the end of the night when I need to relax, I need a formula to like the episode starts like this and then it goes like
Yeah.
this and then this happens and then happy ending, like
Yeah.
that is relaxing to me. What's your favorite show or what are you watching?
Survivor, hands down.
Oh,
Gotta do Survivor.
is that's still on air?
It's actually on, well, today's Wednesday, for people who don't know. It's on right now. It's actually 36 minutes deep in right now. So I'm like chomping at the bit to
Sorry.
go watch this thing. Not just kidding.
Where is it, where are they surviving right now?
It's been like the Fiji Islands the last like 4 seasons, so it's good. It's all the winners are on this season, so it's like major, major big time people. So it's a good one.
All right.
It is a good one.
What's the last movie you watched?
Last movie I watched was Doctor Sleep.
What's that about? Is that like
Doctor
one of those
Sleep.
comics, like a spin-off?
No, so it's actually, so The Shining is my favorite movie of all time. And it has, so Doctor Sleep is basically kind of like the sequel to it, but rather than obviously being Jack Torrance, it's his son Danny Torrance, who has like, like the whatever guy, Tony in his mouth. So Doctor Sleep is all about basically Danny Torrance. He's now older and grown up, and it wasn't what I thought it would be, but it's really really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just watched, I was on a couple planes and I watched Ford versus Ferrari, which I liked, but I also watched Hustlers, which I loved
Oh, with J
because
Lo.
oh my God, J-Lo is like a queen. Are you kidding? I know everybody's like, she's 50 and she's not like dancing and on a stripper pole and her body is banging. Like she is magic.
Yeah.
I was like super inspired to get back into dancing, not like on a pole, but just but now they like this self quarantine and I can't go like take a dance class, but
Yeah.
Hustlers was really good. I thought it was not gonna be. I was really concerned, but it
Yeah.
actually was a really good story. And yeah, but my favorite movie of all time has to be My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, okay.
I can
That's a good one.
I can recite it like line for line. It makes me
Yeah.
laugh every time.
That's funny.
So if you were to switch professions, what would you do? Well, I don't even think we told people what we'd like actually do for work.
Yeah, I don't think we did either. So I do digital marketing. So I basically an expertise in email marketing, Facebook marketing, just overall like e-commerce sales. Um, so I have my own company with my co-founder uh, Jason Withy, who is also the co-founder of Pacific Rink, who we had on our first episode. So him and I basically tag team and have a bunch of clients, and we just help them basically like small businesses grow. So if I didn't do that, I would say that I would want to be a chef. I like to cook. So
Nice.
yeah.
I do not like to cook. I mean, I cook to eat. I can cook a couple of things, but I burn chicken, so I stopped cooking chicken altogether. I usually buy
Yeah.
like a roasted chicken. But
That's fine.
yeah, they're delicious. Maybe
Yeah.
like I could just have you roast the chickens for me and like come get them.
Sure. Yeah. Anytime.
Since you like to cook. Um, Okay, so I'm an on-camera host and producer reporter. I work as an independent contractor. I worked in local news. I was on entertainment shows. I've worked red carpets, celebrity events, like you name it. I've covered it. I've interviewed them probably, everything from like hematologists to Derek Jeter. I've done it all, and I love it. And I would not want to switch. I love what I do. I wanted to do it since I was 8 years old as like a little
Yeah.
kid. But if I had to switch, I would either be a hairstylist, like a hairdresser or a hairstylist,
Okay.
or a fitness trainer. Not
Okay.
because I'm like super fit or anything, but it drives me crazy when I'm at the gym and people don't use correct form.
Yeah.
Like it's just about being safe. I'm
Hmm.
not a trainer, so I like can't go up to them and be like, excuse me, you're actually like throwing out your back by doing that, because I'm not a trainer and I'm not like buff, so I feel like I don't
Yeah.
have the right to go up to people and tell them they're doing it wrong.
Right. Exactly.
But
That's funny.
that would be fun.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So, do you watch any other sports other than hockey?
I do. In the
Okay.
summertime, I'm always down to go to a baseball game. I like to go to baseball games in person. I'm a
Let's
White
go.
Sox fan from Chicago, but I'll go to a Dodgers game.
Okay.
Dodger Stadium is legendary.
Yes, it
The
is.
Dodgers are fun to watch. They've got a great like thing going there with their in-game stuff. And I do like
Yeah.
football. I like pro football. I don't watch college football. I never have. Bears, obviously, but yeah, that's it. I'm always down to watch football or go to a baseball game. Hell yeah. Like who doesn't want to go sit in a beautiful day outside, have a cold beer, eat a brat, and like watch some baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. I
In
feel
this
that.
in the summertime, hell yeah.
Yeah.
What
I'm
about
into that.
you? What other sports do you watch?
Baseball. Like baseball. I recently started to get into football. My dad's a big football fan, but obviously NFL, not college or anything like that. But baseball is pretty much the only thing I watch. Grew up on the Dodgers, but I love the Braves. Random. Again, I
Hmm.
have three teams that I watch. Of course, I have to.
What is this with
Competition.
you? The three teams. That's a
I think it's
commitment.
And I think it's just because I get bored. Like I always want to have something to watch on TV, and like it's fun to follow, a team. So Dodgers, Braves, and the Brewers. Christian Yelich is a hometown boy, so yeah, that's
Interesting.
that.
I'm just
Yeah,
like true Chicago. I'm like, I only cheer for my Chicago pro teams. I'm not a Cubs fan. I grew up a mile from Wrigley Field, but we're a White Sox family. Uh, Bears, Hawks, period, end of story. Like, not allowed
that's
to cheer for anybody else.
that's okay. That's okay.
That's just the house I was raised in. But
Yeah.
anyway, what else are you afraid of? We'll wrap this up with our fears. Why that's the theme
Oh,
for today. I have no clue, but I'm just afraid of the mice and rats. I don't really have any other true fears.
yeah, I would say I don't like the dark very much. I've already discussed my potato bugs. Anything that flies, really, cockroaches, hate them. I used to be afraid of crickets, but now I think I'm okay with the crickets. But I would say probably my other thing that I'm really, really, really scared of is crustaceans. Like if you go, like I can't pick up like a shrimp that has like its little like feeties or crabs or anything like that. Can't do it. Can't touch them. Won't. I'll eat them if they're de-fingered.
Okay.
But yeah, that
Well,
would be it.
I make one of the like five dishes I cook is a shrimp dish. So I can make some shrimp and you can make some meat. And
Okay.
and that's what we'll eat.
Surf and turf. I like it.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes, we've got no pizza. That's
No.
probably best for both of us.
Yeah,
Unless you
I
want me
agree.
just to like roll my eyes at you the whole time you're eating your pineapple pizza.
You're just gonna rip me a new one each time. You're just gonna slap it out of my hand. Don't eat
Yes.
that. That's bad for you.
Send it
You have the
back.
wrong form. You're not eating the right pizza form.
It's a thing. Oh, and the last thing I'll say about pizza is that despite the popular opinion and assumption about Chicago that we only make deep dish pizza. That is not the
Mhm.
case. We make really delicious thin crust Italian style pizza
Okay.
without the puffy edge. It's like crispy cardboard, not like gross cardboard, but like
I've
it's like a
never
like you
cardboard.
I don't know how else to describe it.
You're
It's
like trying to tell us this is a great pizza,
it
but it has
is.
like cardboard crust.
Yeah, that's what they call it. I don't know why they call it that. It's like it's just thin. It's not thick and puffy, and it's like
Okay.
sturdy. Like the bottom layer is sturdy, and then the like dough part is soft, like it should be. But like when you
Uh-huh.
bite into it, it's got like a crunch. So it's like you get the crunch with the soft, with the cheese and the sauce and the toppings. That's my favorite. And we cut it into squares. So they cut those
Okay.
circle pizza into squares and triangles.
Okay. I mean, I'm sold.
Okay.
Whatever. Let's do it.
I gotta introduce you to some other kind of pizza.
Yeah. And I feel like I got to go. I feel like you got to get me on the Chicago team bandwagon at some point. So,
I mean, I don't want to force you to do it because I don't want you to, like, I want you to really want to do it. Like,
yeah.
be a Chicago fan. We get enough shit about bandwagoners, so I'm not about to do that to you. But I can convince you of our ways.
Okay. Well, surf and turf and Chicago and pizza.
Pizza.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. This week, we're super excited to bring a little bit of royalty onto our channel. She's said to be what is, I would guess, quote unquote, the heart and soul of LA Kings. She's a diehard fan, hockey mom, a friend to pretty much everybody, and probably most recognizable by her red hair. So we're super excited to have Trasi here with us today.
Hey, that's me.
That's you.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having
Hi.
me.
We're so
Thanks for
glad you're
jumping on.
here.
It took a minute, but here I am.
Hey, we've all been struggle bus today, so it's okay. No, we all had shit falling apart and stuff knocking over. I kicked my light at the beginning of the episode, and I was like, ah! And like people listening are going like, what the fuck is she hollering about? So
Right?
it's real life. Come on.
Yeah,
That's what people want to hear, right?
absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely. So just to kind of give some more detail, Trasi's a really good friend of both of ours. We've met through the game, both at separate times. She is a staple in the diehard LA Kings Fanatics Facebook group.
Woo, Mama Bear, Mama Bear.
And I mean, she's done a whole lot with the community and making new and old fans feel super welcomed. And she hosts the Pucknick, which is through the diehard fans, right? Through the Facebook group.
Oh, yeah.
They basically bring, it's a big potluck. They bring the ice crew out. They have raffles and looks like a really, really fun time. And
Super good
she's
time.
also, she's brought so many people together. She's made sure people that have never been to a Kings game before have been able to get that experience. She's gotten tickets for them. And she's also been able to bring some fan voices to life by organizing brainstorming meetings with the front office of the Kings, which is something very unheard of, but somehow she's been able to do it. So that's awesome.
All good stuff. All good stuff.
Yeah.
How did you go ahead, Breezy?
No, that's fine. Go ahead. I was going to ask the first question.
I'm just like, how the hell did you get in? How did you get to the front office, lady? Like, how did you get into this place you are at as like the Mama Bear fan ambassador for the LA Kings?
Well, I think it all started with that Pucknick, that first Pucknick. That's what, Daryl Evans was there, and he was kind of telling people that like, she's doing something with social media that we have never seen before. And it was really organic, we didn't ask for any help. We just did it. And 350 people showed up, and the rest is history. So
what's a Pucknick? I've never been,
so,
for people listening who don't know.
So we were about to go on our 2014 Stanley Cup run, and Facebook was like, hey, there's this group that you should join. So I clicked on it and I was like, wait a minute. A whole entire community that just wants to talk about the LA Kings? Like, what? So I was like, join, yes. So funnily, I posted, I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about our team winning the second Stanley Cup? And I'll host a picnic and we can all meet in person. And of course, after like 30 minutes of people going, you just jinxed it. We're never going to win the cup now. And I was like, okay, little girl in Canyon Lake, California did not just jinx the Stanley Cup. Anyway, the rest is history. So we won the cup in 14, and I hosted a picnic in Griffith Park. And like I said, 350 people showed up. The Rangers tried to shut us down because I didn't have a permit. I go, well, this was an impromptu. We didn't know where. He goes, you have custom T-shirts made. I'm like, oh, you saw that. And really, the rest is history. We had six picnics now, and super fun day. It's like my funnest, most favorite day of the year.
That's incredible. Super. I've never made it to one. For all these years, I've heard of it, but I've never been able to make it to one. So I have to. I know you're
Lagger.
I know. So tell us how you originally got into hockey.
So it was way back in the day, 1991. I was living with like 6 people in a house off of Cahuenga Boulevard in Hollywood. And one of my homies his dad had season tickets. And so one day he was like, hey, I got an extra ticket to the game. Do you want to go? And I go, what game? He's like, the Kings game. And I was like, is that thing on ice? And he's like, yes. I was like, okay, well, it was free, so why not, right? So we get to the Forum, and 5 minutes into the first period, I was like, oh my God, why are they blowing the whistle? What are they doing? They're fighting. Is it they're just going to let them fight? Like, should somebody call the cops? And I was just completely hooked. The next day, I went to the local bookstore, and I'm like, do you have the NHL rule book? And he goes, what's that?
Oh, no.
So, like, I was hooked. And I was always just into music. I was not into sports. I never had a team before the LA Kings. And I was just hooked. Live hockey it's just, there's nothing like it. So that's what it was.
Oh my gosh, Breezy and I both agree. Live hockey, you can't compare it to anything else.
Nothing at all.
So then, like, okay, so you've been a fan. Now tell us how you got into what is your official or unofficial role with the Kings, and like, what do you do, and how do you help fans? I know Breezy introduced all the amazing things you're doing to get more hockey fans into the sport, and especially to support the Kings. But tell us a little bit of that story and how you got where you are.
So my official staff is title is I'm a member of the game operations crew. So that department handles everything that happens at a hockey game except for the game itself. So coordinating who's going to sing the anthem and intermission games and things like that. But my biggest part of that is selling Bailey's Buddies memberships. And that's a membership to Bailey's Fan Club, which is our amazing mascot. And all the profits go to the King's Care Foundation. So basically, I'm a fundraiser.
Got it. And then you just like get to spend all this time with the team. Are you at every home game? Like, tell everybody a little bit about what the experience is like for you at the games. Like, if, there was actually a season happening right now.
Yeah, so that's tough. But I actually work usually every home game. And I'm just at Bailey's Fun Zone. I'm just there being cute and stuff, selling Bailey's Buddies. Now, unofficially, I have been actually called the unofficial fan ambassador because the higher ups came to me and were like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. What do you think? And I'm like, it's a great idea. And they're like, well, can you get people to it? And I was like, the diehards always come through. So whether it's been fan focus groups that have been really, really amazing, to commercial shoots, or we've sent production teams out to videotape people at their actual homes with their man caves and whatnot. So it's pretty remarkable how the LA Kings are tapping into their fan base to be like, hey, you guys are what it's all about. We need you. It's pretty cool.
I think it's really amazing to hear that the organization actually is really in touch with the fan base for the LA Kings. I don't know that every organization operates that way. And to hear that they are reaching out to you and they want you to get people to come in and do a focus group and really know who they're catering to, that makes me just love this sport even more, but especially appreciate what the Kings are doing. Like, do you know if this is common, or is this just their organization?
it's not common. It's not common at all. It's a new direction that the LA Kings started approaching. I think it was last season, maybe the season before that. But you got to think about it. If you are trying to promote something, who are the best people to promote it? It's your fans, and even more so diehard fans. And so it's been pretty remarkable. And the greatest part about it is when fans come to a focus group and they get to say, you know, the good, bad, or the ugly, and then the good, like their opinion or their thought actually comes to fruition. And so they're at a game, and like suddenly the hero of the game, all of his stats are on the Jumbotron. So even though we couldn't hear them, we could still read them. That was a fan's idea. So,
Brilliant.
I mean, it's not that they're just sitting down with fans saying, hey, you know, what do you like? What do you don't like? They're actually listening. And that's key. They're actually listening. And that's what makes me so proud to be a part of this organization.
Oh yeah. And how would you describe Kings fans? How do you describe this fan base?
Dedicated and fierce, because some of them could be so hardcore, so hardcore. So, but yeah, dedicated.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree to that. There's some pretty diehard fans. I mean, I'm sure there's fans all over the world that, you know, are pretty diehard to their team, but I feel like every single time I log on to Facebook, someone else is getting, you know, the Kings logo tattooed on them, and like there's actual like full like leg sleeves and arm sleeves of just Kings, all Kings.
Oh,
like
the tattoos
every logo
that are out there. Yeah, the tattoos that are out there are insane.
Yeah,
just remarkable work. Especially
yeah.
Sean from House of Ink does Kings. Like when you have a passion for tattooing and you also have a passion for the LA Kings, it's really easy to do a Kings tattoo.
Yeah, I know, it makes my Kings tattoo look a little wimpy compared to all these other ones.
we can work on that. We can work on that.
I have their, I don't know if you can
crown.
see it. Yeah, I just have their crown tattooed on my arm. But yeah.
Tracy, do you have Kings tattoos?
I have one Kings tattoo. I can't show you right now, so I'd have to put the phone down. But
Okay.
it's my own version of the King's crown that Sean did freehand, and in the middle of the is both in Roman numerals. It's both of the dates that we've won our Stanley Cups.
That is cool. I don't have Kings tattoos because I'm from Chicago, so I'm a Blackhawks fan. But
whoa,
I know, but I don't have a giant Indian head on my body either. I have other tattoos, but
very good.
I'm not there yet.
Not there quite yet.
Just keep hanging with us. You'll get there.
Yeah. Do you remember where you were? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I go to more Kings games than I do Blackhawks games because I live in LA. So, you know, I'm like a by proxy fan here. So
that's all right.
I support the organization.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Thanks. As long as we're not in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you'll have me. Because when I went to some of those games, I feared for my life in my Blackhawks sweater. But, you know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. That's funny. Do you remember where you were when the Kings won the cup for both or either years?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you it's my best hockey moment ever. So a little bit of backstory to January of 2011. I lost my husband to leukemia. It was obviously the hardest thing I've ever had to go through my whole life. And in the process of grieving, I started really getting back in touch with the LA Kings. Going to as many games as I could, but it was still kind of hard for me to even get out the door. And definitely watching all the games. And so that 2012 Cup run legitimately was the first joy that I had felt since I buried my husband. It was more than hockey. It was more than the LA Kings. It was, anyway, so funny story. About a year ago, I came across a video that my oldest son posted to YouTube. And it says, "Crazy Kings fan cries when they win the Stanley Cup." I was in my pajamas, in my recliner, watching my TV, crying my eyes out, had no idea for 4 years that he filmed it. I have that video. Yeah. So it was, I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I just cried. That's all I could do. Jeez. It was definitely by far my most important hockey moment.
That's crazy. That's a good one.
It's amazing.
That might be my favorite story yet.
I think it's amazing.
I got more.
Give us another one. Come on, girl. Give us another one.
Well, we might get to that later.
Okay. It really is amazing what hockey can do for people. I've talked to a lot of fans over the course of my time, really diving into this hockey world. And so many people have similar stories to how hockey and their hockey team specifically pulled them through some really tough times and gave them something else. And that's
it's remarkable. My story sounds good because I'm telling you this right now, but there's thousands of people out there, I'm sure across the whole NHL, fans that have leaned on hockey for their joy, leaned on hockey to pull them out of hard times, leaned on hockey just to give them the support that they need. And the best part about, I can only speak for LA Kings fans because that's what I am, but I can't believe that a sport could give me a family like I have that's not blood. And through the Die Hard page, it's become even more than that. It's just hockey brought us together, but the sense of unity is just remarkable. I mean, there's no other word for it. Remarkable.
Yeah.
I would agree. Like, I haven't found anything else like I found in the community of fans in hockey that I've met in any other sport. I mean, I don't know. I'm not like actively trying to like connect with NBA fans because like that's not my thing. But like, I just don't think this exists. I don't ever hear anybody else in my worlds of different world like talking about how they go hang out with their NBA buddies who go cheer for the Lakers. Like, I just don't hear this. Or like my Dodger, maybe more with like Dodgers baseball, I would hear a little bit more of that. But like, there's nothing like the hockey community. And that's something I am so intrigued about. What it is, I cannot pinpoint, but it is something super unique that brings really awesome people together.
Yeah, and I've found that there's a lot of fans that really just only like hockey. And I'm one of them. I mean, there's a couple nights a year that I'll claim the Dodgers, but that's because it's Kings night at Dodger Stadium. But a quick little story about that is my sister was a Ducks fan for 20 years. And in the 2014 Cup run, I brought her to a LA Kings official watch party. Jay Flatts was hosting. Carlin Bade was there hosting. And after that watch party, my sister's like, I think you just converted me. And I was like, oh, way too soon, girl. Not even a chance. And then the next time she goes, or we went to a game or something, and she's like, no, I'm ready. I go, you're not ready. And she goes, no, I just saw Alec Martinez. I'm ready.
Oh, man.
So, but yeah, I mean, the sense of community is just, and family is just, it's just, I have no words really. I say remarkable, but there's got to be something better than that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of family, trade deadlines come up and whatnot. So I feel like every team ends up ultimately losing someone, a part of their family. How would you describe, trade season, especially, at this time of year where we did lose a couple of our key players for the Kings? And yeah, I mean, what do you think? Like, obviously it has a toll on the player, but it has a toll on their families, the fans, their kids. Like, what would you kind of say to that?
If I had my own personal opinion, which this is what it is, as much as the players, I think that the players, they just want to play hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And get paid for it, of course, but they want to play hockey. And, it's not too shabby when you get traded from the LA Kings and you're going to a team that's in the playoffs or heading to the playoffs, or you know what I mean? And so, and then, I think that maybe as the wives, when you forge friendships like that and then they're not going to be there on the daily, that sucks. Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. But I'm not a player. I'm not a player's wife. I can't really talk much about them. That's just my own opinion. But what I can tell you is tears were shed from fans. It was a really tough couple weeks there. And as soon as tears would dry, we'd get hit with another one. Mm-hmm. But now that all the tears have dried and things have settled down a little bit, I think that the consensus, I can't speak for everybody, but I think the majority is super on board with, what do we have, 24 picks in the next 3 drafts? Yeah. Like I saw somebody, I think it was actually a Blackhawks fan, as a matter of fact, on Twitter. He tweeted the depth in the LA Kings pool is was ridiculous, but now it's downright unfair. Well, when you got a great GM that's willing to make some moves, that's what you're going to get. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the future. Our young guys coming up are just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they've been playing some pretty good hockey the last, before it went on pause, they won 7 in a row.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, 7 in a row. So
if you're counting the virtual games that we're watching with Bailey, we're at 9 in a row.
Oh, I mean, that counts.
On Twitch TV. It's been pretty cool. He's been not simulating, but kind of, I don't know how that all works, but it was really cool because they used our opening video, which I'm in. It was cute. I was like, hi.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of fun. If you don't have any hockey, simulated hockey works too. And we seem to be, and Ferk got a hat trick. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's always a good time. Well, speaking of people who were traded, one of our most beloved, Alec Martinez, went to one of our biggest rivals, the Vegas Golden Knights, which is crazy. But, I've talked to you multiple times about this before, and I think it would be beneficial for other people to hear. But you've always said that Alec Martinez has the best fan etiquette. And how would you describe that? Like, what makes it best in class?
Well, here's what happens. When he interacts with a fan, he first and foremost, he stops and takes the time. 30 seconds off of his life is nothing compared to what that 30 seconds did for that fan, right?
Yeah.
Another thing is he actually engages in the conversation. Like, somebody's one time Cassandra talked about adult Capri Suns, and he goes, wait, there's adult Capri Suns?
That sounds
like
good, actually.
Yeah. Fuck Nick. But anyway, so he stops, he engages, he takes the time, even if it's 15 seconds. And then he has eye contact. He actually looks for just a split second. He'll look at that person and acknowledge that they're there. That's huge. That's huge.
That is big.
Yeah.
That's all the fans want, like
Hello?
they just want to feel acknowledged by that's enough to for their whole life. They're like, oh my God, Alex said hello to me and gave me a hug. That's there's nothing better.
Nothing better. And he was relentless at it. He was, and I'm quite sure when he comes back to Staples Center, he's going to be the same exact way. He was, born and raised by great parents that gave him the foundation to be that kind of a man. And he's that kind of a man.
Do you find that generally speaking, almost all the players are pretty chill that way? This is something we've talked about before, how the players in the NHL are so willing to do the Girl Scout cookie trade for a puck, and they'll go over and play rock, paper, scissors, or take a selfie with people on the glass during warmies. And I feel like we don't see that across any other sport. Is it
I
a
agree.
league thing where the league is more comfortable with them doing that and other pro sports aren't? Or is it just a hockey guy thing? Because I'm totally okay with it being just a hockey guy thing.
I can't speak on behalf of the NHL, but what I can tell you is that I think it's a hockey guy thing. I think that every once in a while, a really good friend of mine, Irene, she had this knack of getting selfies with certain players. And then it became the players' routine to find Irene and get that selfie. I mean,
Toby Reeder was the one that started that with her, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember.
And so it's pretty cool. And then I think that if the player, I think individually as players, if they give up, if something sparks their interest, Ekman Larson in Phoenix?
Yeah.
He had that whole thing, and that was a team thing. He was going to pick who did the selfie or whatever, but he doesn't have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And no player out there needs to offer a puck for Girl Scout cookies. There's no rules like that. I've even seen players, there are rules from giving autographs from the bench. And I'm not going to name these players, but I've seen them sneak autographs off the bench just to get them to that kid that's sitting right next to them on the bench, So these players are they're remarkable. And sometimes, you might hit one on a bad day. Doesn't mean he's an asshole. It just means that, maybe he just got bitched out by coach or whatever and just doesn't want to sign an autograph right now. And that's understandable, or they, just had a baby and they just want to get home. That 30 seconds to them is more valuable, so it's they're pseudo celebrities really. And so you just got to kind of take all that with a grain of salt, but for the most part, hockey players are, we've seen them do stuff that brings us to tears because it was just so remarkable. Carey Price with the kid that lost his mom, and there's just so much great stuff out there. And that's another thing that sometimes you have to go back to stuff like that if you're in a funk and be like, oh my gosh, remember when so-and-so did this? Mm-hmm. And then anything, whatever's going bad, you can put a smile on your face and it comes right back around. So yeah, I think the players are just pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So your son Drake has an interest, obviously, in playing hockey. He pretty much goes to every single game with you, but he wants to be a goalie. I mean, you and I have talked before, and he's been a fan of Ben Bishop, obviously Jonathan Quick, Darcy Kemper.
Oh yeah,
gosh, he loves goalies. So what do you think kind of made him want to be a goalie? I mean, is it your
I think
your love
it's because that's my favorite position too, but I think it's more so that my son is the most unique individual that I've ever met ever. And I don't know if God just made him that way, or he just, because he was raised, he was a year old when his dad passed away. So, but he's just a kid that he walks to the beat of his own drum, and I support that 100%. And right now, unfortunately, just because geographically we don't have any ice rinks around us, so he plays what we call hallway hockey. I have a hallway that's about 40 feet long, and we've got little goalie nets on either side. But he has a hockey brain that puts mine to shame. I mean, on the daily, he can be like, did you know so-and-so just scored his 800th goal? And I'm like, who's that? Or what, like he just has, we do a Die Hard cruise every year. And there's my brother, Jesse. He's like, I just go to the cruise so I can have that trivia with Drake. I want to stump him. He goes, but I can never do it. I'm like, he's pretty remarkable.
Wait a second. You have you guys go on a cruise together too? The fans?
Girl, we've had singles mixers. We have Christmas parties. We have an annual beach party that is like, I don't even know the words to describe the beach party, but yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And all this stuff was done without the help of the King's organization. It was just stuff that we all wanted to do. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm amazed. I mean, holy shit. I got to come to that. Like when we're allowed to go out again, I want to go to the singles mixer.
We haven't had one for a while, but I can make sure that happens.
That would be great. I'm all for that.
This is water, by the way.
If it wasn't, it would be just fine as well.
Breezy knows me better than that.
Yeah. Speaking of, we went on a trip last year? No, 2 years ago.
That was 3 years ago, I think.
3? No.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. I think it was 3. Could have been 4, actually.
Feels like it was yesterday. Feels like it was yesterday.
Most amazing trip.
Yeah, it was fun. Why don't we let's talk about it.
All right. So we did Dallas and I did Dallas and Nashville. Yes. Met you guys in Nashville. And we went to the game and got our asses handed to us. I think we lost 6-1 or 6-0. Did they shut us out? We might have scored a goal.
I think there was one goal, yeah.
Yeah, so 6-1. And as soon as the game was over, I looked at you and Amanda, and I was like, we need to get out of here. I need to get to the closest honky tonk I can find, because this was a shit show.
Which is very funny, because she's not really a country fan. And we were listening to country music in the Airbnb. Yeah, we're listening to country music in the Airbnb, and she goes, are you going to make me listen to this all weekend long? And I was like, yeah, we're going to go to a honky tonk. So for her to say, I got to get to a honky tonk, I was like, okay, let's go.
So we walk out of Bridgestone, and I just looked, I go, that's the one we're going to go to.
Keep in mind, it's freezing. Absolutely freezing.
And so we start crossing the street. We walk in the front door, and I was like, I knew it. I knew this was going to be good. The entire bar was lined with guys in Kings jerseys. Okay. So we quickly realized, oh my gosh, this is the dad's trip.
Oh my God.
So we had no idea that the dad's trip for that season was Dallas and Nashville. So of course we're in Nashville, and when the doors open to a bar in Smashville and the ladies are wearing Kings gear, all heads are going to turn, whether they're Predators fans or Kings fans. Anyway, so within 15 minutes, we were fighting on who was going to get to order the next shot. I was trying to trade my beanie to get Drew Doughty's dad's cowboy hat. Like, it was hilarious. We had so much fun. Jonathan Quick's dad was like, you know my boy John? Yeah, we know your boy John. He's not the only rock star in the family, you know. I got a daughter. She's a rocket science. She's a rocket science. I swear. Don't ask me who my favorite is because I can't tell you. But you know my boy John. Just like the best stories ever. It was so much fun.
We partied with him for like
Hours.
3 hours. But the best part about it was I was wearing head to toe Preds gear. Head to toe. And I was standing next to it was Christian Folan's dad. Right? Yeah, it was Christian Folan's dad. He I was very hard to understand him. He had a very thick accent, I think. No. Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was.
I think it was Paul Ledoux's dad as well. And because we were talking Kings hockey the entire night, and they're like, you're head to toe Preds. You know a lot about the Kings. And then I was like, yeah. So I told them the story. And then they tried ripping my jersey off of me. And they got it off. But then once they got it off, they realized I was still wearing a long sleeve Predator shirt underneath. Oh, it was bad. They said I was ridiculous, but then they bought me another shot, and it was all good.
Yeah, it was a night for the record books for sure. It was so much fun, and they were so candid and old family stories, and it was remarkable. Like, it was a magic moment that wasn't supposed to happen on our trip, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little jealous that I wasn't there just to experience. And I feel like there's some stories that you're probably not able to share on the podcast that happened.
You said that, not me.
Exactly. We'll just leave it at that. But that story about Quick's dad, that's hysterical.
My boy John.
Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
Dougie Quick.
That's so good. But the players didn't join? You were just with the dads?
Oh, I would, if the players were there, I would have had to leave because I'm not allowed to fraternize with the players, which I totally understand. I'm on the staff, and they have a job to do. I have a job to do. But no, we were with them for hours. We closed that bar. Well, we might not have closed it, but we were there for hours.
That's amazing.
No, I mean, we pretty much closed. I think I got home. I think I got back to the Airbnb like a little after 3 a.m.
Yeah,
and
I think I got
ended
home
at 10. So
I think I got home that time too.
Yeah,
I love it. What's your other like good hockey memories, Tracy? Like you've got to have like a novel's worth of stories.
There are I almost want to say there's too many to mention because there's too many to mention, and then there's so many different levels. There's personal moments for myself, and obviously getting the job with the Kings in the first place was huge. I was a fan for 25 years, never wanted to be in sports, and I give all the credit to the Die Hard page, because if it wasn't for that page, I wouldn't have done the picnic, which turned into the Pucknick, and I wouldn't have got the job. And so it was like a big snowball. But
give us a personal story, like if there's one you can share, or tell us about like if you've been to the classics or all-star games or anything really unique that you think people would really like to hear your point of view on experiencing it from the position you're in.
I've worked 3 all-star games, not for the Kings. I worked for as a temporary employee for the NHL. This last one was in St. Louis, was pretty cool. My first assignment was an escorter for the red carpet. And the first person I got to escort was Hillary Knight. And it was remarkable. Yeah. And I thought she was trying to take a selfie with her. And I didn't know she was taking a video. So I'm like, are you trying to get me in your selfie? And that NHL put that video out. And I'm like, there I am. Like, are you trying? And she's like, she thinks she's trying to get in my video. I was like, oh, okay. Hello, world. So that was pretty remarkable. And then another funny story about that same time was I was in a line of escorts, right? And so I could see the signs coming up for the next player that needs to be escorted, right? So I count the people in front of me and I'm like, 1, 2, 3. And I look down at the signs. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. Oh, hell no. I am not escorting Matthew Kachuk down the red carpet. So the guy tries to hand me Kachuk's sign and I go, I can't escort him. He's like, what do you mean? Like, he wanted to tell me, like, you have a choice. I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry. And I stepped back and I pushed the girl in front of me to take his sign. It was hilarious. And then, so then I'm like actually looking and I was like, and I start counting the people and I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Because I saw the Predators sign. I'm like, I'm going to escort Roman Yossi down.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
And I did. And then I saw that one Dallas logo and I was like, I know who's here for Dallas because it's all about the Sagan Sundays.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So those are like personal little fun little things for me. That was a lot of fun. There's a whole lot of fun. Like, on a super silly note, the moment that a friend texts me and goes, the Kings are following you on Twitter. I was like, why would they do that? I only follow them. Like, I literally only followed one person on Twitter and it was the LA Kings. But it was, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. We've come a long way.
Yeah, that's true. So we already touched base on Drake and, wanting to his hockey love and whatnot. So would you say you're kind of like, I feel like you are a hockey mom, because even though, Drake may not play for like the Little Kings or whatever, like I feel like so many people in like the diehard group look up to you pretty much kind of like as a mom. And there's so many little kids that are there as well that know you. So like, how would you touch on, being a hockey mom?
I'm Drake's mom and Drake really loves hockey.
Yeah.
I would never, I know hockey moms and the devotion and the time and the hours that they put into it is something that I can't even touch with a 10-foot pole. So I wouldn't go as far as saying I was a hockey mom, but there's nothing more joyful to me than sharing hockey with my son. It's, I mean, when there's nobody to better hockey with than Drake. He has an opinion. He's smart. His hockey IQ is huge. Watching him stick handle is remarkable. If I could just get him on the ice 4 days a week, he'd be a remarkable hockey player. There's no question about it. But it's just not something that's in the books for us right now. But it's we have a lot of fun. Every single game that I'm not working, I want to be with Drake there.
Yeah.
Another little quick thing about Drake is that I have to put this out there because he's no longer allowed to have a favorite player.
Okay.
In case they get traded, so he doesn't have his heart broken?
No, every player he's ever deemed his favorite has been traded.
Oh, he's a jinx.
He's a jinx. Darcy Kemper actually gave him a stick for his birthday. Like, Darcy Kemper was his be-all and end-all. And when Darcy got traded, Drake actually cried. He boo-hooed cried, like the ugly cry. And to get an ugly cry out of a boy is not easy. But it was pretty remarkable. So he's just allowed to like a bunch of players, but he can't deem any favorites.
So do you have are you allowed to have a favorite?
Oh, Drew Dowdy's been my favorite for years.
He's over your shoulder right now in your room in a poster, huh? I can't tell what that is.
It's a banner. It's about 10 feet by 15 feet.
It's not a poster, Rachel. It's a banner.
Yeah, he's hugging Tyler Toffoli after a goal.
Love it. Okay, but who's your ultimate hunk? So is he also your hunk?
Look at my life size of Matt Green.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
So so he's my hashtag PBF8. Well, he used to be until I realized I was old enough to be his mom. I was like, wait, he's how old? What? Anyway, but my original number one player, my number one player of all time is Kelly Rudy. He's been my favorite. He was in goal that first game, November 21st, 1991, when we beat the Rangers 6-1. It was pretty remarkable. But my first crush was Corey Millen. He was a little tiny center, mad hockey crush on him. But yeah, too many favorites right now to really point anything out. Drew was my crush, but now he's married and I'm old. So
you can still have a crush on him. I think like a crush is allowed.
There's a funny story about Drew and his dad when we were in Nashville. I'm not going to give you all the details, but he's like, no, I'm actually married to his mom and you're not old enough to be his mom. And I'm like, oh, yes, I am. He goes, how old are you? And I go, 48. He goes, damn, you are old enough to be his mom. I was like, thanks. Thanks, Papa
Thanks a
Dowdy.
lot. All right, well, we've got to find you a new hunk that you can crush on.
Preferably my age, so obviously it's going to be a retired player.
Yes.
Preferably single.
Yes. Well, yeah, that too. Do you have a favorite hockey lady?
Oh, Carlin Bathe by hands down. Carlin Bathe. She was an arena host when I started working for the Kings. I met her at my first watch party. I've never seen a woman blossom the way she has. So professional and so mindful of what she's doing and where she wants to go and what she wants to achieve. She makes me very proud, very, very proud.
Yeah. I had the chance to meet her actually not in hockey, which is strange because I'm a host and a reporter as well. And we met at I'm going to forget the name. It's a video game that like everybody plays in an arena.
Esports.
Yeah, it's like an esports.
Was it for Overwatch?
Yes, thank you. Thank God. Oh, thanks, Tracy. Yes, Overwatch. It was the Overwatch League, like the debut, and I was there with a different company covering it, and she was covering it as well. And Carlin's a really big fan of the Overwatch League and video games and esports. And we met there. She was so nice. I think my hair was fucked up or like my jacket or something. And I was like doing a stand up and she happened to be like right there because it's like a big press thing. And she was like, wait, you've got to fix this thing or whatever. Like just super sweet. And I can tell you from experience, like being in a room full of press people, not everybody is that nice and you don't have to be that nice. And she really is that nice and thoughtful.
Oh, she is that nice. Yeah, she is that nice. The sky's the limit for her. I don't have any, when she retired, I gave her my favorite piece of Tiffany and Company jewelry because it was a necklace that had a star on it. And I said, I just want you to always remember that you are a star. And everyone's like, damn, we all need to retire from the LA Kings because Tracy, even out Tiffany. But yeah, she's a gem. She's an absolute treasure. Yeah, I'm glad we get to keep her.
Breezy, do you have any more questions for Tracy?
Yeah, I mean, I know that you've been, we have covered a lot, but I know you've been to a lot of different games, a lot of different arenas. You do probably have another team other than the Kings. I don't know if you are, maybe, I don't know. Do you have another favorite?
Well, I don't think I can talk about that.
Oh,
okay,
that's fine.
I don't think I can talk about that.
Oh,
Don't tell anybody. So, quick story about the New York Rangers. So, obviously, they were the first team.
You're like, I can't talk about that, but a quick story about the New York Rangers.
So, that's who the Kings played for my first game. So, there's always little heartstrings right there. Then, my very first Kings road game was in '93 at MSG against the Rangers. We won that game too. Brian Leetch was my favorite defenseman of all time. So I bought that sweatshirt that I just showed at Madison Square Gardens in 1993.
Oh, wow.
And so obviously 2014 was hands down, it was the Kings and I was pushing for them all the time. But, I was just like, this is so crazy that these are the two teams that are in the Stanley Cup final. It was just nuts. And so there's a special place in my heart for New York. I love the city. I love the people of the city. Being a Kings fan at the game, the last time was a couple years ago, and I had to actually pull out my credentials to calm everybody down. I'm like, I work for the team. I'm gonna cheer. I'm gonna cheer when they score. And as soon as I did that, they were like, shots for Tracy. Everybody gets shots. Blah blah blah. I was like, whatever. But so yeah, if I had to claim a second team, it would definitely be the Rangers.
Yeah. What would you say is probably your favorite arena that you've been to so far, other than Staples Center? Because I feel like that will always take the cake.
There's no question about it. I've never experienced anything like it. Smashville, the Predators arena and the fans. We were getting our asses kicked, and I kind of didn't care because I was just like, and and I understand why. It took me some research because I was trying to figure out why they have that. Like, why is it so special? Why is it so great? Well, when the Preds came to Nashville, that's all Nashville had. And
Mhm.
so they have a whole city and the suburbs to jump on board.
Yeah.
But you don't see anybody not in blue and gold. Nobody.
Yeah.
Like the only time you're going to see that at a Predators game is if it's an opposing team's fan, and we were few and far between.
Yeah.
And
So,
don't they not let the opposing team fans in? Like, and wasn't it during the playoffs a couple of years ago when they were on the run? They were like not selling tickets to people who didn't live in Tennessee. You couldn't buy. I remember reading a story. You couldn't buy tickets if you weren't. If you didn't have like a Tennessee license, and they weren't letting you wear opposing jerseys in, right?
I did hear a bunch about that. I heard that Tampa Bay did it too.
Yeah.
I heard the Blues did it as well, I thought.
You know what? To be honest with you, from my perspective as a staff member, it's my ultimate dream. Well, a staff member and a fan, a super fan, if you will. It's my ultimate dream to see nothing but Kings gear in Staples Center. LA is diluted though. It's a hard deal. You know, I mean, when you have premier level being given to the only, you know, coworker that can go, they don't even know what hockey is, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'll tell you what, I felt completely welcome in Nashville. The people were like, "Are you from LA?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You flew all the way out here?" I'm like, I did. And they're just like, "That's amazing." And so that's the type of welcome we got. It was really remarkable. And I've only been to 16 arenas, NHL arenas, to see the Kings play. And I plan on hitting all of them, but I just don't think I'm going to see anything like I see at Nashville. And even if I did see something close to it in Vegas, don't make me flip the bird.
Well, I was going to say, I've been to Vegas to a game, and I haven't been to Nashville yet. I was supposed to go, but now, you know, quarantine. So I don't know that that's going to happen, but, the fans there, because it's another city where the team is born there, like how for Nashville it is, like there's something unique about that fan base, especially in a city that never had a team that was like original to them. And they have just a different level of fandom. Like all the fans in Vegas, they all are in jerseys. Like they're all decked out. Like nobody's not wearing their gear. Now, I can't speak to the like kindness and the like ampedness, because you cannot compare Nashville and Las Vegas. They're just very different. But that
very different.
Yeah, but having that like team born there thing is something really unique, and it creates a special fan base.
Well, and I also think the timing of that team with the Route 91 festival, the tragedy that happened there, and the city embracing the Knights and the Knights embracing the city. It was such a horrible tragedy, but it fueled the fire for that fan base, and I think that's great. And I'm very pro any new team. Like when the Kraken finally admits that they're the Kraken, I'm down for them. Okay,
Girl,
I'm down for them.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm like, I want them to be the Kraken, nothing else. That just should be their name.
Oh yeah, it's Drake swears by it, and he's like, these are going to be the new logos and whatever. But no, I was all for Vegas too. And then their fan base came to a game here in LA. Not all of them, but the ones that I experienced, I was like, oh, this is new. And I'm not here to trash talk or anything like that, but I've been to lots of arenas and I don't trash talk other teams. I don't do that, especially other fans. Like I don't do that. We're all here to love hockey. And you know what? First and foremost, I'm a hockey fan. And I choose the LA Kings to be my team. But first and foremost, if I had to pay money to watch Pee Wee hockey, I would do it if that was the only hockey I could get. I just watched an entire game on Twitch TV that was fake.
Right.
Like, and I was cheering. And like, hockey first.
Yep. Nope. I was going to say hockey first, and then I choose my team second. And I think Vegas is a little, they're a little big in the britches because their first season just happened to be so good. And I don't think some of those fans really know what it's like, and had to learn some of the etiquette of like not going out of town and just like talking shit to people. You know, I think they had to. Yeah, they had to. Yeah, there's a learning curve there. So I mean, I'm sure the fans put them in their place and explained how this all works. Like, you better just calm down because this is not how it always is going to be. So
Well,
check
and yeah,
yourself.
and they right, exactly, before you wreck yourself.
So good.
What
Anything
else you got for
else?
me, ladies?
Oh my God, I could talk to you forever. You are so freaking
I
funny, and
know.
your stories are endless. I'm like dying. I'm loving this, but
We might have
we're
to have a
gonna,
part 2.
yeah, we're gonna have to have
Ah!
you come back, like when we have season, or like if the season comes back, and all of that. How's everybody doing with the lockout? Like, not the
It's
lockout. That's the wrong word. The lockdown. The self
The
quarantining.
pause.
The pause.
I think that it's easier than a lockout, because with a lockout, you feel like you're really getting ripped off and cheated as a fan. But we're all locked out right now of life. I mean, my day job, I don't know. I mean, we're going to half of the hours that we used to have. And probably as soon as Riverside County declares state of emergency, then I'm out, like I'm at home. So I think that because it's affected everybody and not just hockey players, we all feel like that we're in this together. And it's been really great seeing the players, post their videos and give support to the fans about, trying to stay healthy, and we're doing everything we can and all that stuff. And I think it's pretty remarkable.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I agree.
But being without a hockey sucks.
Yes, it does.
We know.
Legit.
It does.
But they have this podcast, House of Hockey
Yay!
podcast, to listen to, and listen to people like you, Tracy, come on and talk
Absolutely.
about all these great stories, and make us feel like we're connected again in our hockey community and our hockey bubble.
Absolutely. When you guys asked, I was like, yes, 100% yes.
Just
I'm
like,
on board.
Yeah, and we just so we can talk hockey, for God's sake. Like,
right?
Yeah.
Talk about
For
hockey,
sure.
talk about memories and stories. It's awesome. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for doing this and for sharing. We for sure have to have you back on, because like I know you've got more stories and opinions and stuff that we have to have you back and to join us.
There's plenty of people that have good stories. I'll put you in touch with them.
Okay, sounds good. Well,
you guys,
go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really fun. I'm gonna have better rig next time, so I don't have to hold my phone the whole time. But it's been a blast. You guys made it super easy, and it was a good time. Thank you for having me.
Where can people connect with you on social media? Do you want to give out any handles, or the Bailey's buddies and all of that? Do you want to plug any of that?
lakings.com/Bailey's buddies. That's where you'll find all the info for that. And all proceeds go to King's Care Foundation. And you can find me, Trasi Starr, TrasiStarr, across all social media platforms.
Awesome. Thanks so much. That's a wrap. Right?
That's
Freeze?
a wrap.
All
yeah,
right.
Well, I guess I could say just real quick before you leave, I wanted to say thank you too, because you were the one that came up with the whole Fan Friday post for Hunks of Hockey.
Yay!
It's been a huge success. Selfishly, yes. I can now thank you that I have over 200 photos in my phone that I have no idea who these people are. So it's going to take quite a long time to post all of them, but I just wanted to say thank you for coming up with such a great idea, and again bringing the community together, because there's so many different fans that are sending over photos and their submissions, and really showing support of one another. So again,
that's
kudos
awesome.
to you for continuing to bring everyone together and sharing the love of hockey.
You
Fantastic.
rock. You're the fucking best. Thank you for everything you do. Really.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for making me rad.
Yes.
Bye, ladies. I'm here for you anytime you need me.
Okay.
Right, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming over to our House of Hockey podcast and hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Just look for House of Hockey podcast. We'll be back next week.